So for episode 2 of Skinning to Go Cap, I've decided to go retro, and by that I really mean I'm going for nostalgia. So the item that I'm going to be discussing in today's video is actually the first item that I ever farmed to get into gold making, and that is going to be Cobra Scales, which we are going to be farming in Nagrand. So this farm, compared to the last farm, is much less diverse in how many different types of materials you're going to be gathering to be selling, but the materials in general are going to be worth considerably more. Now, the materials that we're going to be getting from this farm that we're really aiming for are Cobra Scales, which I'm going to pop up on the screen for you now. These are an incredibly rare item and are used for transmog from the TBC era, as well as a few armor enhancements, which I do understand some brackets of Twinks use as well. But personally, I just sell the scales. But if you are interested, then please do look into that. It is a potential market for you. But as always, I don't like to do farms whereby you only have the access to the one thing that you are farming. So additionally, with this farm, you're going to be able to gather yourself a considerable amount of knot hide leather. And as well, if you have mining, there is mining nodes nearby that are going to be adamantite, which can also give Eternium ore, and if you are very lucky, spawn a Corium node instead of an Adamantite node. Now, as I alluded to, this does take place in Nagrand. Now, that is the Outland version of Nagrand, not the Warlords of Draenor version. We don't like that version. This is going to take place over in the western parts of Nagrand. I'll pop a map up for you here. And all you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking the route that I'm taking here on my character to just kill these Twilight Serpents and skin them. It's as simple as that. There are a few mining nodes that you'll be able to see the locations of when you watch me flying around, which will also be of assistance to you if you have mining for improving your profits. But that is really as complicated as this farm gets. You're just going to be doing laps of the area, killing every Twilight Serpent and skinning them. Now, the knot hide leather is a reasonable, steady aspect to the farm and does provide a decent amount of gold. For me, it's about 10 gold per knot hide leather. I do believe it's about 6 on average across EU realms, and you are going to get a very large amount of them. But these Cobra Scales that we're looking for are the real prize. They sell for between 3 to 5,000 gold on most realms, and you are going to get a decent amount of these. I tend to average getting one just over every minute or so, which is obviously exceptionally good gold per hour if you are into these sorts of things. Personally, I don't like using gold per hour as a measure of how good of a farm is, but if that is the way you like to go, then you can factor that in as such. Next up, what I was going to discuss is what you'll need for this farm, but as with this series, the entire aim is just simply to have farms that you can do with only a character that has skinning. So I'm going to rephrase it and be more, what can you have that will improve your efficiency on this farm? And there is quite a lot of things. So first up is that you are going to also want to have mining if it is an option for you. With the amount of nodes that spawn around here, you do come away with quite a lot of adamantite, which isn't of high value on most realms, but it is a little bit of value. But it will also give you the primal earths, which are going to sell really well, and as previously mentioned, if you are really lucky, you can spawn corium veins, which often sell for as much as 2,000 golden ore. You're also going to pick up quite a lot of Eternium ores, which on my realm sell for about 90 gold each, but it's a nice little pickup as well. Next up, what you're going to want is the ability to fly. Now, any character can do this, as of course you can just pick up a flying mount, but really I would recommend either a druid for its instant cast travel form, or for any character that has the Legion legendaries that give flying from 5 mob kills. So this is the crafted leather boots for leather wearers, or the crafted mail gauntlets if you're doing this on a shaman or hunter. Now, because of the frequency with which you're killing mobs, you are going to be keeping up your stacks at all times, even if you stop to get a mining node, which means that these are an incredibly efficient way of getting back into flight form, as it's actually quicker than using a global to get back into it with a druid's flight form. Now, these are expensive and quite elusive on a lot of realms now, these crafted legendaries, so if you don't already have them and you can't get your hands on them, then a druid is optimal, because of its instant cast flight form and the fact that it has what our next little amendment was going to be, which is that you're probably going to want to get yourself a character to do this on that has an instant cast ranged ability to kill the mobs. Now, I use Moonfire, which is perfect on a druid, but pretty much any class has an ability that can do this. I mean, just off the top of my head, you can do this on a demon hunter, a rogue, a death knight. This just basically anything can do that. It's not one of the harder requirements to meet, but it does lead on to what I'm going to talk about next for efficiency, which is a macro to target and use that ability on the snake. So the macro is incredibly simple. First line is going to be /tar, as in T-A-R, space, and then Twilight, and that will mean that you are always going to target the serpent. And then simply after that, the next line is /cast, space, and then the name of the instant cast ability that you're going to use, which will vary dependent on what class you are using for the farm. This does greatly increase your efficiency, as it just means with a simple one button click, you are going to target the nearby mob and hit it. Do bear in mind, however, that since you do want to be killing every serpent, because these aren't technically an instant respawn, you do need to make sure that you are facing the serpents when it comes to a lot of classes' abilities. This is not true of Moonfire, but it is true of a vast majority of ranged abilities for melee classes, so do bear that in mind. But that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed this farm. If you did, please do consider liking the video and also consider subscribing if you would like to be kept up to date with the next video in the Skinning to Gold Cap series. I will hope to see you in the next one. Later.